This is the One Accord podcast, a show demonstrating the unity that we have in Christ, even though we might disagree on some of the positions we take on theological issues. And so if this is your first time here, welcome. We're glad that you're here. If you have been with us before, you know that last time we had a little bit of a spicy topic, and there was some disagreement, at least amongst the team members. But we're here again because we care about each other. And so certainly there's no hard feelings on my end. And let's bring in Pastor Eric Love. Pastor Eric, you and I, we disagreed a little bit back and forth last week, but it's good to see you again today. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing better than I have been doing the past couple days. I've been pretty sick the past 2 days, but I'm feeling better today. Not 100%, but better than I was. And no hard feelings from me either. And when you said a little bit of disagreement, that was somewhat of an understatement, but it was. But I'm okay with that. I can live with that.
Yeah, well, the importance of our agreement in Christ for me, and it seems for you as well, goes much, much beyond our positions on other matters, even though that's not to say that those other matters aren't important. And so, of course, I understand that your passion comes from a place of being serious about the Bible. And I think you know that that's true about me as well. And so even though we do disagree on the conclusions that we drew, that doesn't diminish the importance of those issues we were just talking about. But what we agree on is so much more important that, again, I'm delighted to see you. I'm sorry you're not feeling well, but it is very nice to see you today. And I do anticipate that you and I are in more agreement today. So that's nice. Then maybe you and I can tag team to pick on Greg, who's also here with us this morning. So Greg, how are you today?
Hey, good morning and Merry Christmas, both of you. Yeah, I'm doing great.
I see what you're trying to do there. So I'm not going to take the bait. That's all right. So
that's too
actually,
bad. I wish you would.
Yeah. Well, it was funny after the show. You had mentioned, and you said that you didn't mind me bringing it up, but you know some people who have watched some of the conversations that we've had, and maybe don't know the relationship that you and I have, but that have actually said to you that they anticipate that this is going to ruin our friendship. So are you worried at all that us continuing conversations like this is going to ruin our friendship?
I have absolutely no worry at all. You and I have we've enjoyed a relationship like this. I mean, obviously not filming it, but our wives have sat in audience watching for many hours of our discussions like this. So
they're smart. They often go to the other room so they can talk about something else.
Because women love discussions that men have. We all
know. That's true. That's very true. Yeah. So we can mansplain everything to them. No, they enjoy getting together, but they often do. Sometimes we have non-theological conversations, but
I don't blame them. Sometimes I want to walk into the other room while we're having this conversation.
Yeah. Well, I will say that my least favorite part of these conversations is the filming it part. I've enjoyed having these conversations with you for the entire time we've known each other, and I anticipate that as long as we're both still drawing breath on this in these earthly bodies, that we will probably continue this. And so I likewise share zero concern that this will ruin our friendship. But that's not to say that I can't understand why people might think that. You know, I mean, if anybody watched, especially our last episode, there are those are the types of conversations that they can ruin friendships, and they have divided churches, and they have done that before for sure.
And when you think about it, it seems like, first of all, let's admit our culture can't civilly disagree on anything.
No.
But the church definitely is not immune from that, and perhaps we could even say that the church is extra sensitive to that. You look across the Christian landscape, at least in America, and if you aren't agreeing on everything, it seems like you can't be friends at all. And so I think that's one of the reasons we're doing the format we are, isn't it, Joe?
Yep.
That we are trying to demonstrate. We went into this fully knowing that we were going to disagree, and we're doing it on purpose.
Yep. No, I have in my life, I have some people who I am in much greater theological agreement with on all the particulars. People that I'm in fellowship with on a regular basis. We study the Bible together more often than I have opportunity to do with you guys, just if for nothing else, simply because of geography. And, I anticipate that if we were in closer proximity for all of us, and we had the opportunity to spend hours and hours, each week looking at the Bible together, instead of coming to this where we're just talking about our conclusions, but we were actually doing the process of studying the Bible together, that we would have probably greater unity than we do have. And so instead, we're doing that in our various respective groups. And because I know you guys, you weren't the only guys that I had talked to. Mike is another guy who's, joined us at least once, and hopefully he'll join us again in the future at some point. But guys that I know are committed to following Christ, do see things differently. And I value that in my own life. Even from just using last show as an example, while I disagree and still disagree with the position that you guys were advocating for, you did help me to at least see some areas in my own thinking that weren't as developed as they should be, or that needed to be studied more, or areas that after our conversation, I mean, I spent a good amount of the day, after I went and got some frozen yogurt and ate it at the beach because I had nothing else to do. I finally took some of that spare time and looked into some of those other issues, and spent a lot of time on Saturday as well looking into a couple of other things. And I appreciate that refining in my own mind, that having conversations with people who are serious but who disagree, I find that to be incredibly valuable, and I hope that you guys do as well. Thanks for watching this clip of the Exalted Christ One Accord podcast. If you like what you've seen here, click here to watch the full episode, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any of our future content.